Hey, just up on the roof looking at my favorite blue sky, and there's a very strong wind today, so you're gonna hear that from time to time. So today we're talking about shame, and we're gonna talk about it in the terms of family secrets. So what is shame? I believe shame is the feeling of defeat when what you believe you should be doing is defeated by actions, bad actions. So, a very quick personal example of that shame is, I used to watch pornography, even though I'm a Christian, and even though I'm a man who wants to be a warrior and protect people. I'm watching these bad videos, and I would always do it, in secret, somewhere where other people aren't. So because I couldn't deal with the thought of people finding out about that, because it didn't line up with what I believed. So what I was doing didn't line up with what I believed I should be doing. And one day I was hiding somewhere and watching pornography, and my little sister walks in on me and says, "Hey, what you doing?" And I had to make a choice whether I was going to lie to her or tell her the truth. And I was kind of thinking of a lie when I heard this voice in my head say, "If you lie to her, a part of your soul will die." And I realized that there was going to be some serious consequences on my psyche if I started lying to people, And so I had to choose between the shame of confessing and the greater shame of becoming a liar. And praise God, I told her the truth of what I was doing. So sometimes you have to face things that are unpleasant because the alternatives are worse. And about family secrets, my family is on the outside very successful, very religious, very academic. We're always going to church and singing in the choir and volunteering for things, but the inside wasn't lining up. So my grandfather, my dad's dad, was this big-time preacher, but he was also a pedophile, and he molested little boys. He molested me, and he molested my older brother. And my dad he didn't face that. He wasn't able to stop my grandfather. And what happened, the consequence of that is that, 5-10 years later, my older brother was just a really angry kid because, authority figures had failed him, and so he was always fighting authority. And he starts to get very, abusive, and he starts to molest my little sisters. And I was filled with shame because with every year as I get older, instead of confronting, my family about, their failure to protect us or, the actual sexual and physical abuse that's going on, with every passing year as I grew more into a man, I wasn't dealing with it. Instead I ran away. I went to a school, very far away from my hometown. I became an alcoholic. I traveled overseas in missionary adventures and aid work, and I tried everything I could to, sort of drown out my sorrows with excitement and pleasure and pride. And, and like what I said at the beginning, I started watching a ton of pornography. And of course, being an alcoholic, pervert is only going to fill you with more shame, not make it go away. So you see here, if you run from shame, you actually just get into more shame. You got to face it. And praise God, I started to face it. I'm trying to clean up my act, but started, you know, confronting my brother, and we ended up writing out, you know, a police report about him, and talking to his boss and trying to make sure that, you know, whatever is going on is no longer a secret and people can protect their children from him. And that was a battle that I had to face. Otherwise, I felt shame for being a coward, for looking the other way, sweeping it under the rug. And I think the reason a lot of times that we don't face family secrets is they feel too big. We don't think we can fix the problem, so we just run away, you know? And ultimately, what that is that's a lack of faith in the power of God to fix us and fix our problems, and fix, you know, our relatives. And so we have to have faith, and we have to fight. And you know, in the most recent months, when I was dealing with all the trouble of cleaning up my act of being an alcoholic, pornography watching pervert, and also trying to confront my brother and his act of being an angry, abusive, you know, sexual offender, this quote just stuck in my mind and wouldn't let me go. It's an old Viking proverb, and I'll read it to you now. "The coward believes he will live forever if he holds back in the battle. But in old age he shall have no peace, though spears have spared his limbs." And I think that proverb really just hits it right on the head. If you run from the battle, you never find peace. You're haunted and broken. And you will never find healing until you confess that sin and you confront that demon, whatever that is for you. And it is a battle, you know, it's a battle between what you believe is right and the easy way out. And so if I can just leave on a closing note, whatever it is in your life that gives you shame, you know, figure out what it is that you're not proud of, you know, this dissonance between what is right and what you're doing. And then find out what you have to do. And it will be hard. It will be a battle. It's always a battle. But to run away is to ultimately believe that God can't help you, that there's no hope. To stand and fight, to attack that demon, whatever it is to ultimately believe that there's hope. Even hope for, you know, sexual molesters, for, you know, pornography addicts, for alcoholics, for, you know, people with hatred and depression. That's ultimately what you're doing, is you're choosing to believe in victory, and you're choosing to believe in freedom.